What's up, guys? So I finally have an excuse to talk about Ghoulies because today we're reviewing the brand new Blu-ray release of Ghoulies 1 and 2 by Umbrella Entertainment. This is from Australia. It's region free. It's the first time this has been on Blu-ray since the Scream Factory release a few years ago. That's one I missed. I'm actually really glad this finally got re-released because I've been wanting to own these movies on Blu-ray, and I was starting to think it wasn't gonna happen, but thanks to the guys at Umbrella Entertainment and this beautiful release, I finally own them. And I've said it before, I'll probably say it again, I love little rubber monster movies, and when you're talking about that, there are three tiers. You've got Gremlins way up at the top, right under that is Critters, and then Ghoulies. And Ghoulies for me is a special one. If you watch Empire Pictures from back in the 80s, you probably know that all of those movies have their own feel. Charles Band always kind of infuses like a fantasy aspect to his movies. A lot of times, even though they're categorized as horror, a lot of them are more fantasy than horror. Troll is a good example of that. And Ghoulies is very much the same. I mean, I guess starting with the first movie, I mean, it's kind of an odd one because even though it was marketed with this cover art and you're gonna go in thinking it is a Gremlins knockoff, the Ghoulies in the first one are pretty inconsequential to the whole movie. They're basically just there in the background while other stuff happens. The movie's really about a guy whose dad was a satanic wizard and he inherits the family household, home, whatever you would say, and fate kind of starts pulling him towards the path of his dad becoming a wizard. He finds an old book, summons the Ghoulies, and kind of falls into the whole satanic wizard thing, and it starts threatening his relationships. It sounds pretty serious, but it's not. It's a great, campy, fun 80s movie with a ton of memorable moments. I guess the most notable actor in that is Mariska Hargitay, probably one of her first roles. But yeah, if you haven't seen it and you're thinking about watching it, it's best to know that going in so you're not disappointed because it's the Ghoulies movie, oddly enough, with the least focus on Ghoulies. And now the second one is kind of where it does start becoming more of what you expect. Way bigger focus on the Ghoulies. This one is set in a carnival with a haunted house attraction called Satan's Den. The Ghoulies kind of sneak in there and take over. There's also a side plot about the owners of the haunted house attraction and their struggle with making enough money to stay open so that the owner's asshole son doesn't shut them down. This also has a few notable early roles. One is Sasha Jensen, who you probably know from Dazed and Confused, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the movie. This one also has Phil Fondacaro, who's always great, shows up in a lot of Empire Pictures. This one is a lot more focused on the Ghoulies, which is what you would expect. The Ghoulies, effects-wise, have gotten an upgrade. They look a lot more detailed. You actually get a new Ghoulie. Both of these movies are pretty tame on gore. There's not a lot, but that doesn't really hurt it for me. I mean, these movies are more about the cool monster effects and the story and the comedy, the campiness, because these are first and foremost horror comedies with a big emphasis on the comedy. So if you're looking for scares, this probably isn't the movie for you, but most kind of creature features like this from that late 80s really aren't. As a personal rating, I can't give these things lower than 4 stars. They're awesome. They hold a pretty special part of my childhood. I watched them a lot growing up. I've always loved them. I think a lot of people would score them lower, but not me. I rate them very highly. So yeah, for both 1 and 2, 4 stars. As far as the Blu-ray goes, I would say this is definitely an upgrade from the Scream Factory double feature. The picture and audio are great on these. I've actually never seen them look this good. I would say they're probably the same scans as the Scream Factories. The box actually doesn't say anything about where the scans came from, so I'm going to go out on a limb and say they are the Scream Factory scans. Where the real upgrade comes from is first off the packaging. I mean, it's got the original cover art for the first one. This is one of my favorite cover arts of all time, just because of how often I saw it when I was a kid in the video store. I'm pretty sure this was at every video store. And when you're that young, this cover gets you. The tagline, they'll get you in the end. This little monster coming out of the toilet. I mean, it was practically marketed for kids. And I'm really glad they went with this cover art for the slipcover. It doesn't get any better than that. On the inside, you kind of get the same cover art that Scream Factory went with, kind of the side by side of both the movies, but it does have original commission cover art. I'm not gonna lie though, it's pretty doo-doo. It's not great, but if you like it, it's there. Can't really be mad at it as an option. But me personally, I'm sticking with this side. These do come on their own discs. It's not individual cases, but I mean, for a movie like this, that's very niche, I would say we're lucky to get this personally. Even though I have heard rumors that there might be a box set coming, I'll believe that when I see it, but hopefully that does happen. This is region free, by the way. A lot of Umbrella titles are. As far as special features, that's another upgrade from the Scream Factory version from what I can tell. And the German releases, I think it's 101 Films and NSM, both kind of released individual releases for these. But this one, from what I can tell, has the most special features. It has an introduction and a commentary with Luca Bercovici, the director, an interview with Ted Nicolau, interview with actor Scott Thompson, an interview with the director Luca, an audio interview with producer Jeffrey Levy, and for the first movie, 2 extended TV cuts with extra footage taken from archival VHS recordings. I would guess, because I haven't watched through those, I did start both of them and watch a little bit. It's VHS quality, and I'm gonna guess that the extra footage they're talking about is the channel bumpers, and one of them is actually like a late night horror host thing, and they show his segments. So I don't think there's any extra movie footage, but I do think that's cool. It's just kind of a nostalgia thing. Something they didn't have to throw on there, but they did. I mean, it's 80s or possibly 90s local broadcast television stuff. In between, like the commercial breaks, I will possibly end up watching one eventually just to see. I can't vouch for any of the extra footage being actual extra scenes added into the movie. So the verdict is out on that for now, because I can't vouch for that. And it doesn't say in any of the stuff. And with the special features for part 2, you get an introduction with Dennis Paoli, the screenwriter. You get an interview with screenwriter Dennis Paoli, deleted scenes, trailers, an archival behind the scenes creature effects footage, audio interview with Phil Fondacaro, and an audio interview with effects artist Kenneth J. Hall. So these have tons of special features. All of them sound pretty good. All of them something I'm eventually going to run through. For the rating on the Blu-ray, I'm going to give it 4 stars too. I'm super happy with it. It's a thick, chunky box with a slipcover with the best art they possibly could have went with. The movies look great. Tons of special features. If you're a Ghoulies fan, I'm gonna go ahead and say this is the definitive version up to this point to own. You kind of have to buy it, even over the Scream Factory, because it is an upgrade. And if you haven't checked these movies out, I would recommend it if you like cheesy 80s stuff, Empire Pictures, Rubber Monsters. The price is great on this. It seems to be going for $30 right now, brand new. So for the 2 movies, that's $15 a piece. That's a great price. Highly recommend. And these will be what I'm working with until the day that we hopefully get a 1 through 4 box set with 3 and 4, which both deserve Blu-rays. Fingers crossed. But let me know in the comments if you love these movies, if you're getting this release, if you've never seen them, all that stuff. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And until next time.